Hi friends, it's Laura with Sacred Story, and we're continuing to think about God's Christmas list. And so we're on our fourth gift, and I just want to encourage you today, we're going to talk about the gift of reflection. So we've looked at Mary and how she received the promises from the angel, and then we looked at her traveling to see Elizabeth and giving the gift of surrender and obedience, and then the gift of praise. And so now we're going to look at what happened in between Mary staying with Elizabeth and going back to Bethlehem. And what happened is that they shared a lot of life for about 3 months. And so what we see is that they probably talked a lot about life, about pregnancy. Elizabeth was in her 6 to 9 months pregnancy, so she most likely gave birth while Mary was there. And so I'm sure Mary had a lot to learn, and just these two women who had unusual pregnancies. And so they reflected on what the angels had both said about their sons. And, I think about one part of Mary's song that she sang, and it says, "For God has given help to his Israel, his servant, in remembrance of his mercy, as he spoke to our fathers, to Abraham and his offspring." So I used my little cheat sheet there for a minute. But what it's basically saying is she's remembering what God had spoken to Abraham. The story that she's living is living in the midst of the greatest story ever told, which we talk about in the gospel. And it begins in Abraham. So they're looking at all the promises that God had revealed to Abraham and how their lives and their sons are fitting into those promises. And so it's the gift of reflection. I know it's such a busy time of year, and believe me, I'm with you on that. And yet, let's take some time to sit down and reflect. And I encourage you just to carve out some time, preferably away from your home, right? Because then you see all the things that need to happen at home. Or somewhere quiet in your house where you won't be distracted. And just take some time and write down some things that come to mind as you read Luke 1. 26 through 38, and maybe some new insights you'll have. And so I encourage us all to take the gift of reflection. And thank you for taking time to think with me through this today.